Alright guys, here today we're talking about the Benjamin Maraurder, the 25 cal in particular. This was my first gun, first PCP, and I must say it was a pretty nice one. This one's from about 2010 and it's been passed on down to my son-in-law, so he's got it now. It's shot many a squirrel and many a rabbit, and it's been a really good gun. I did refinish the gun so it doesn't look like it would from the stock. So anyhow, let's get to talking about the gun. It's a Benjamin Maraurder offered by the Craftsman Corp, and it's been an extremely good gun. I've had very little trouble with it. I had one magazine issue. I called Craftsman. They sent me a brand new magazine, no questions asked, so my hat's off to them with awesome customer service. So the neat part about this gun is it's very power adjustable. It's very adjustable all the way around. With accessing the hammer spring, you just put a Allen wrench inside here, and there's a screw that you can adjust the tension on the hammer spring, and then there's another screw inside there as well that you can adjust for the hammer stroke. So how far the hammer goes and how hard it hits is two of your adjustments. And also, if you take off the stock, you'll be able to access a velocity screw. It adjusts the air port. It's a needle and seat type thing, and what it does is it allows more or less air to flow through, and there's quite a bit of adjustment there as well. So that's one thing a lot of the PCPs I've found don't offer that Craftsman Marauder does. Comes off with just one screw, and right on the side, it's right here, right there guys. We'll get it nice and close and personal here for a second. Right up here we have a screw, and it's a packing nut setup where there's a screw on top of a screw, and they're little brass screws, so they strip out real easy, so you got to be nice with them and use the right size Allen wrench. I can't remember what size Allen wrench it is, but you use the right size Allen wrench, and then you can adjust that and fine tune your Marauder. So you get the rough setting, and then you can fine tune it for whatever power level you want. I've had this one all the way up into the 900 feet per second range with 28 grain ammo, so you're pushing like 45, 46 foot-pounds. Right now it's set for about 43 foot-pounds with 25.4 grain ammo JSB, which seems to shoot about the best. Bolt action. The thing I don't like about it is it's very loose and floppy with the bolt action, but there's a little thing you can tighten to make it tighter, and the problem is then it makes it tighter to pull back as well. So I think there should be some improvement there. I've had quite a few times where I'm hunting with it and it'll slide back open. If you have the gun cocked and it slides open, you know, you kind of got a little bit of issue there. So, and what I'll show you is the magazine setup. It's got a magazine and there's a single shot tray, and the nice part about it is these things are affordable. The single shot tray is affordable, which makes it really nice. You're not spending $50, $60, $80, $100 for a magazine. You're spending, I forget what it is, but it's 15, 20 bucks, something like that. Don't quote me. I don't remember offhand, I didn't look it up. The magazines aren't very bad, and the trays aren't very bad either. So basically, in order to load it up, we'll come out up here and we'll show you. In order to load up the magazine, you just rotate this up, and then you get the whole wheel to turn. You can go the other way, but then the wheel won't turn. You rotate it all the way around until it locks in place, and you'll see a hole. And then you just put your pellet in nose first, and make sure it doesn't drop through because it's a hole all the way through. And once you get that one in, then you can turn that down to access the next holes, and you don't have to worry about anything falling through because there's tension on the pellet. Now that being said, this is going to be the important part. They call these spring wound magazines is what I call them. And how it works is, I need something to push that out with right here. How it works is every time the bolt goes through, it pushes a pellet out and it falls, and then it just rotates around. So you push the pellet out, the whole magazine rotates. So the problem is, when the magazine's in the gun, okay, you cock the gun, you put the pellet in, now you got a pellet in here. When you go, if it would happen to open up and slide back on you, then the magazine would rotate, and then when you closed it, you would have 2 pellets in. You don't want 2 pellets in. That's bad. So if this is to ever open up on you while you're out in the field, as you can see, it doesn't take a whole lot for it to open up. Take out your magazine, close it, either shoot it or wait until something comes along to shoot, and then put your magazine back in. But whatever you do, don't put your magazine back in, then load another pellet. It won't hurt the gun, but you know, you're shooting 2 pellets, it's not going to be accurate, it's not going to have the power it should, it's not going to work out very good at all. So, other than that, the magazines I've had very little trouble with. The only trouble I did have was the last pellet wouldn't rotate because the spring got weak. And like I said, they sent me a brand new one, which was real nice. You know, no muss, no fuss, no having to send it back, just here's another one. The way a customer should be treated. You have a problem, you tell them you have a problem, they send you the repair, and then the problem solved. No money out of your pocket, no hassle out of your time, nothing. Time is valuable, everybody's time is important. So, anyhow, the gun I feel is really nicely set up. I use medium mounts. This has got a 4x16 center point scope on it. And I find that to be actually a really nice fit on this gun. The 4x16 is weight-wise, length-wise, just really fits really nice. So, anyhow, if you want to just see how it lines up, get a really nice lineup with the medium mounts. Plenty of room for magazine clearance. The stock is decent. It's a little bulky. This one I thinned out. And then I put some traction on it, so that way everything would go, well, it won't be slippery. So, alright, let's get to filling the gun. To fill the gun, they got a nice cap. I like this, a nice threaded cap that goes over and dust protects, keeps dirt and stuff out of there. I like that it's threaded because it ain't going to fall off. So I don't like things that just snap on. I don't like cheap dirt getting in here is not a good thing, so I want to make sure that that stays good. So it comes with a Foster fill, so which is nice. Hats off to Crossman, use a good fitting, a normal fitting. And then the fill pressure is up to 3,000 pounds. On the 25 cal Marauder, it's set at the factory for 3,000 pounds. So we're going to fill it up to 3,000 pounds. And we're good to go. Now I'm just going to take a minute to talk about shot count. I did a test the other day and I got 32 shots at 18 yards before I seen a drop in the point of impact. So when I talk about 16 shots, that's 16 shots in a 20 feet per second spread. So 870 to 890 back to 870. And that's at optimum power. So you can get more than 16 shots out of the gun. Typically, when I would shoot the gun, I would run 3 mags through it, which is 8 rounds each. So that's what, 8 times 8 is 16, times another 8 is 24. So I would run 24 shots, and usually at 70 yards, 80 yards, I could hit a soup can, or just a regular size soup can, 22 out of the 24 shots before it would start to drop. So, and that was with a little over 3,000 psi fill, right around there. And then I can't remember the ending pressure, but it was right around 1,200, 1,800, 1,500 pounds. So you can get a lot more usable shots out of it. Just because I say 16 don't mean that it's done at 16 shots. I mean, you can go for quite a ways. I think at 40 yards, if I remember right, it was like 32 or 30 some shots that I could put in a 3/4 inch hole. So the gun's been real accurate for me. One thing about accuracy I want to talk about is power and accuracy don't always mix. If you put the power too high, you may find out that you don't have the accuracy you want. This particular gun, when I had it, I found the best power to be around 840 for accuracy and power. So 850 to 890, you know, you start pushing pellets faster and faster, they may not be as stable, so you might not see as good of groups. This one seems to do real well at the 870, 890 range, but I think it was a little more accurate at that 840 range myself. So that being said, it's a great gun. It's got a real quiet safety. I didn't show you that, but the safety just slides forward, and it's got a match grade trigger. The trigger is smooth as silk. So it's got 2 stage. Here's your first stage, and then you just a little bit of a pull, and there's your second stage. So you can set these triggers, I guess, really light, and it's a match grade trigger. So I mean, it's a really decent trigger. So hats off to Marauder or Benjamin and Crossman for that. A lot of their spring guns, I don't like their triggers at all. This one's got a nice trigger. So all in all, like I said, for the money you're paying, I can't find anything that'll even compare for it. And I've got a lot of nice guns, and it'll run right with my expensive guns as far as performance goes. So Green Mountain, I guess Green Mountain makes the barrels is what I was told, and the barrels on these seem to be really good. I haven't heard of too many sour ones, so again, if you do have a problem, like I said, Crossman will take care of you. So anyhow, let's get to the fun part. Let's get to shooting this thing, and we'll see how it does. Alright guys, what we're going to do here is we're going to shoot 18 yards indoors, and we're going to see if we can do some tag driving. I'd do some groups outside, but it's so cold out, dude, I'm not freezing. So accuracy is really good. Like I said, 1/2 inch, 40 yards, 3/4 inch, 50 yards, even less. I mean, there's sub 1 inch groups being shot with these guns at 100 yards. So accuracy is not an issue, but we're going to chuck some lead down here real quick. We're using the magazine. We're shooting off a bag. So let's go have at it. Alright guys, there you have it. Out of the magazine, 18, 20 yards. There's a dime. Now you see me, now you don't. I mean, you're talking not even half a dime. Not too bad for an old guy. Not too bad for an affordable gun. Good job, Crossman. Alright, here we are. We're going to be shooting at some spinners. The spinners we're looking at shooting are 40 yards out, about 1 inch in diameter. So, let's get to shooting. You can see no problem hitting the spinner. And the spinner is easily the size, well, actually a little bit smaller than the squirrel's head. So, alright, we're going to switch over to 50 yards. Alright guys, here we are at 50 yards. We're going to pick on the little bigger one right at this point. It's about 1.25 inch size spinner out there. Reason being is really hard to shoot with a camera on a scope. I have lots of difficulty. We'll try for the smaller one. Oh, we missed. There we go. That spinner is really small. It's only about 1 inch, not even 1 inch. There, we got it again. So, as you can see, it's no problem hitting a 1 inch spinner at 50 yards. So, we'll take her on out to 80 yards once for hoots. Alright, no promises, 80 yards. Woohoo! That's a 2.5 inch spinner about. So oh, missed that time. No, we're out of ammo. I'll have to reload. Here we go. Ooh, we got it. And mind you, I'm on my 3rd magazine right now. Oh, just a little low. There we go. Oh, we're losing power. There we go. So as the power drops, you know, the pellets drop a little lower and lower, but accuracy is not a problem, even out to 80 yards. You can easily pick on a 1 inch spinner or 1.5 inch spinner, squirrel at 80 yards. It's not going to be an issue. So let's wrap this up. Alright, we're going to wrap this up. As you can tell, the gun's pretty quiet. It is a fully shrouded gun. So quiet is not a problem. That's another thing Marauder or Benjamin, they did right. A lot of the guns you gotta make quieter by adding some stuff or reworking some stuff. This gun is really quiet from the get-go. The other cool thing about this gun is there's lots and lots of modifications you can do to it. There's a lot of people out there that have made parts. They made parts to extend the air reservoir so you can get more shots. They made parts to extend the shrouds so it'll be quieter. They made parts, you know, to make hammers not bounce to get more shots and make the gun quieter. There's different springs you can put in the gun. There's so many modifications to this gun. If you're a tinkerer like me, it makes it a whole lot of fun to play with, and none of the stuff is super expensive. Yes, it's a $400 some odd, I think $470 or $500 pellet gun. A lot of people think that's crazy expensive. There's $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 pellet guns out there. It's all a matter of how you interpret what expensive is. For a lot of fun, it's not expensive in the world of pellet guns, and it offers a whole lot of options. With a little bit of elbow work, you can make the stock, even the stock look decent. You can make it look awesome. You can get different stocks. There's people that got thumbhole stocks made for these. They got fancy stocks that are made for these. There's just tons of different options to use, you know, with this gun. So all in all, I think the gun's a great platform. Looking back on it in time, as I've grown in my air gun career, or air gun, not really career, air gun hobby, I'm just an average Joe guy who likes to do this stuff. Kids started me making videos, and now I just want to share what I've learned. So when you go to buy these things, they cost a lot of money. You might have a little more knowledge. If I can help share some of my knowledge and help somebody, out a little bit, that's what I'm all about. If I'm just trying to share my hobby with everybody and help people out. So it's a great hobby. It's a great gun with lots of potential. So if you're out there shopping for a PCP, don't overlook this one, because you can take it all the way to the top and make it just as accurate as any high-end PCP gun, or you can shoot it as is, and the accuracy, like I said, has been really good. So it's a great gun to have. So until next time, guys, have a good one.